All right, welcome everybody. Welcome to another episode of Real Estate Wholesaling Analysis. Today is Sunday, Cinco de Mayo or May 5th. Hope you guys are having an amazing weekend. Welcome to another series where we're doing some live analysis in terms of like wholesaling or some fixing and flipping or buying and holding strategies to understand what makes more sense on a wholesale deal. We're going to be doing some analysis soon. The Zooms get recorded, and if you want to watch the previews and the previews that are recording again or any previous recordings, you can head over to my website at eltonvargas.com. I'm gonna put the link on the chat to where you guys can watch all those previous videos or previous live Zooms as well too. In just a few minutes, we're going to get started. Probably a few more people are going to be joining in just a little bit. And if you have any questions, we are going to be leaving some questions into the end of the quick presentation or after the analysis. It's going to be open for some Q&A for anything regarding about real estate wholesaling overall. But just give us a few minutes so that we can let more people in. And if you have any questions throughout the presentation or anything that pops up in mind, if we're touching on a specific topic that you want to ask, you can by all means drop the questions on the chat but after everything, again, after the end of the whole analysis and everything, you're gonna be able to unmute yourself so that we can ask some questions if you have more extensive questions. But let me drop the link on the chat really quick, and then we will get started. Oh, here. Awesome. All right. And on the link as well too for a that I just sent on the chat, it's not just the recordings, there's also files in there, some quizzes and a bunch of other stuff that can help you guys in terms of like your real estate wholesaling journey. But let's go back here and let me restart with here. All right, cool. So let me just go ahead and start this. Bam, bam, bam. And here we go. All right, cool. So welcome to another episode. My name is Elton, like Elton John. I'll be your host. This is, I believe, our 39th or 40th episode. We've been having some issues. I had some technical issues on the last two episodes with Zoom, so everything's fixed up and running back up again properly. So we can figure this out, and now we can get back on track to our series. So the series happens every Sunday at 10 a.m. and every Tuesday at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you want to join any of those times, or if you have to be if you're a previous person coming back again, welcome back. My name is Elton. I've been wholesaling. Well, I used to wholesale a lot in the last 11 months. I haven't wholesale for the last month, so 1 month short of a full year. But throughout my wholesale journey, I've been in contact. My strategy was just reaching out to a lot of agents, building relationships with a lot of agents, and then kind of reverse wholesaling a little bit in terms of like finding buyers first and looking for those properties that a lot of buyers have. I'm outside of the on a lot of Midwest states and markets, and so I know a lot of those markets out there. Wherever it is, whenever we analyze some of these deals. We're going to be going through random markets because I don't like to specifically touch on a very popular market. I mean, if it's requested, by all means, but I usually like to touch on other markets so that way you can understand how different markets react to in terms of like real estate, because real estate it's very different across the nation overall. But rates, those stay the same. So throughout the series, the way this is getting hosted is first thing first, we walk through a quick presentation so that way we can understand things that we're going to be looking for in terms of like analyzing. Afterwards, we're going to dive deep into that analyzing and what it actually takes to it, because a lot of people do struggle in terms of like analyzing or overanalyze. For me, I'm an overanalyzer, but I've shortened my time span just because of constant repetition, and that's what it takes in this business. It's just constantly repeating the same stuff over and over and over again. Just like your jobs, you're constantly repeating the same stuff over and over again from time to time. that it just becomes muscle memory, and it just sometimes it gets boring, but it's just you gotta have a reason why, and then that reason why is just gonna help you keep on driving, so that way you can continue succeeding or developing yourself. Because even for me, for the last whole year that I've been in this business of like real estate, I'm still learning a lot of analogy, a lot of strategies, a lot of benefits, and a lot of structures as well too. So the learning it's still out there, and with how the market is as well too, and the rates, it's just you have to get creative. So there's a lot of creative deals out there as well too that can help you close a deal. So there shouldn't be a reason why a deal can't close. Besides, the only reason is you're in the middle of freaking nowhere and there's no other population nearby, like in hundreds of miles away. So that's going to be like the only reason where a deal is not going to be working at all whatsoever. Unless you buy the property for yourself, then that's a whole different story. So we're going to drive through that analysis. Then again, afterwards, it's going to be a Q&A. And then if you guys want to, there's going to be an open breakout room. So that way, if you want to network with other people over here, then by all means, you guys are able to network as well too. But with that being said, let's just dive into the presentation really quick. And so the process of real estate wholesaling, there's a multitude of steps from A through Z. The main one that we're going to be working on this is going to be the estimated repairs and the offers, that how to align those offers based on what I'm able to see from my computer. Because the properties I used to wholesale are virtually, so everything I never got a chance to see a lot of these places in person. So it was all just relying on like picture and just analyzing a lot of that stuff. And just with that, whenever I look at a property in person, in my local area, it just becomes easily to see what kind of stuff it needs. The only difference is the prices of repairing are going to be majorly different from those states that I look at the Midwest comparable to over here in California. California overall is just expensive. So earlier I was mentioning that my process is reaching out to a lot of agents, but before reaching out to a lot of agents, again, I was mentioning that I reverse a wholesale everything, where I actually went to buyers, look out for buyers, look for buyers that are active, and try to figure out what exactly it is that they're looking to buy. And with that leads to our first foundation is finding out the ARV and how a lot of buyers calculate a lot of their deals. So when it comes to all these buyers, all of them are going to have different strategies, different numbers, different analysis, different terms, different conditions, different type of finance, if it's going to be cash or hard money loan or any other type of financing that they're going to be needing or getting. A lot of those numbers are applied into like their strategies. But the very first thing that a lot of them are going to need is the ARV of what the property can go for if they wanted to fix and flip, or if they wanted to buy and hold, or what those numbers would look like as well too. But anything below the ARV, it's really down to getting that information out of them, so that way I can figure out where my numbers are going to be aligning up. Now, the struggle with this is when you have 50, 100, maybe 500 or over 1,000 buyers, it just becomes a little bit more challenging to keep a track of all those formulas. The simplest way to do it is figure out who's going to be the person who's going to lowball every single time, who's willing to go the lowest and who's willing to go the highest. Everybody else is going to be in between. So you're creating a range for yourself of where those numbers are going to be lining up. So that way it's easier for you to figure out who you have to like remove out of your buyers list, because it's not going to fit their numbers whatsoever, and who's going to benefit. Worst case scenario, it's always good to like send it out to all the buyers and then see who's going to be interested on that specific deal that you have in hand, if it's going to be off market or on market. So there's a list of questions that you need to ask a lot of these buyers, so that way you can understand how they buy. Because at the end of the day, if you look for a property and you're just kind of hoping for things to go your way, in terms of hope, that's not really good. That's not really a strategy whatsoever. You need to have a solid foundation to make sure that your deal can actually go through. Oh, I got lucky with that my first deal. Well, can you get lucky multiple times? Because and when it comes to real estate wholesaling, it is a business, so you have to treat it as such, where you constantly have to repeat for results to showcase on your end as well too. So treat it as a business. Find your buyers. Ask a lot of questions to your buyers so that we can understand how they buy, and then start looking for those properties based on how their numbers are lined up, based on that range of all those formulas that you get. So that way you can understand how a lot of these buyers buy at the end of the day. Next is repairs. So part of their ARV, it says it on the word after repairs. So repairs come next. And as I was mentioning just a few minutes ago, when I was talking about repairs, how are different in different markets. These are going to be the average dollars per square foot on repairs that I like to stick to nationwide, with the exception of some states like California, Washington, Texas, New York, Florida, Massachusetts, Pennsylvania, you whatever cities and states are like there's big cities in. Usually the prices of the repairs are going to be a little bit more costlier. And with that, it's just what I like to do is I like to add $15 to $20 more on the price per square foot on top of these numbers right over here. So if you're looking at live repairs are going to be pretty simple. These are going to be more on these properties that are really well maintained from the homeowners, or it can also be rental properties as well too, where they're really well maintained overall and they just need light stuff. If it was like a regular light repair in a Midwest state, then it'll be $10 to $20. Now, if it was here in California, it will be probably a little bit more, where it'll be closer to like $25 to $35 per square foot. Again, I'm adding $15 to $20 more on the price for the repairs. Now looking at average repairs, now we're diving into those fix and flip homes where we're getting down into like projects. It could be very a light average repair to a heavy average repair as well too. These are going to cost between 25 to like $40 per square foot. And usually with these average repairs and average and your regular projects, these are going to be the ones that are going to be taking a lot of sometimes a lot of time, sometimes it could be really quick, but it will be a lot of more projects in the main areas. Sorry, I lost my train of thought for a second. Where you have to be focusing on the floors, seeing how strong the floors are, if they need to be changed to LVP. You could be working on the main areas like the kitchen, bathroom, bedrooms, walls, lights, windows, doors, and possibly some landscaping, either the front yard or the backyard as well too, depending on how you want to do. There's actually a property close to my area right now where the seller, and I know it's an investor, just because the way you're able to tell is the color scheme. You're gonna see a lot of color schemes that are gonna be black and white, blue and white, green and white. It's just gonna be some type of like solid color with some white mixed in it. The most common one right now that we're trending is a lot of black and white. And so if you see a lot of properties like that, then you gotta know how the property looks. And sometimes you can tell by the numbers on the house as well too. If it's like those skinny metal looking ones, that's another property that's getting fixed. But back to my story is there's a property that's being sold that the homeowners fixed up and it's getting it flipped, but they didn't do anything with the landscaping. They kept the trees and everything on the home. But what they did is they added sand to the property. They added sand on the front yard and they added sand on the backyard. So they made the home look a little bit more deserted type of style, kind of like, I'm not sure if you guys ever seen homes in Las Vegas or Arizona. They have the same color and they look there's rocks and a lot of cactuses and some trees there as well too. But it's just that scheme of like a desert type of home. That's what it looked like. And honestly, that didn't fit a good color, didn't fit at all whatsoever. So it's just the sand, it's just everywhere at all. So again, it just depends on what it is that you want to do at the end of the day, or as the buyer wants to do at the end of the day. So when I look at these numbers, even gut job repair homes, gut job repairs homes are pretty much a full remodel. Either you're demolishing the whole property and starting all over again. The only thing that stays is the foundation. Unless the foundation has any issues at all, then that's going to be a little bit more expensive of additional cost as well too. But sometimes if you don't have to demolish, then it's just pretty much taking over everything, demolishing the walls, everything, strip it down to the studs, and then start all over again, where you have to get a designer to figure out what kind of design you want to do, if you want to keep it unique or if you want to make something very common at all whatsoever. But when I look at these repairs, something that I always get is, well, how can I estimate the repairs, or how should I add anything extra to these repairs? Honestly, at the end of the day, it's really up to the buyer. So if I'm estimating repairs, and again, we're gonna go through some live analysis over here in just a few minutes, but when we look at some properties and you're estimating the repairs, it's really hard to get down to a specific number because at the end of the day, let's say I'm estimating repairs on a property needs $40,000. I bring it to a list of 50 investors. All of them are going to give me different numbers across the board on how much they're going to be spending on those repairs. I'm going to get lowball numbers to like 20,000 all the way up to like 60, $70,000, or even possibly more as well too, because at the end of the day, it's really up to the investor or the fix and flipper or the buyer on what exactly it is that they want to do for the property. So your numbers are just more like an spectrum of what the basic stuff that it needs. But at the end of the day, how extensive the repairs need to be done or the buyer wants to do, it's really up to them. And if they want to spend more because they want to get more out of the property, then by all means, let them do that and let them think that at all whatsoever. So just stick to the average numbers that I showed you. Again, if you are on those high or more expensive market areas, add $15 to $20 more to the numbers that we were lining up just earlier. And the presentation's available on my website. I put the link on the chat as well too. So if you guys want to have access to that as well too. Next, part of the process of analyzing properties is comparing apples to apples. So if, let's say, for example, your car breaks down and you need a specific part for that, a year of a car, you got to look for that specific year of a car part. Some cars, let's say like common cars, Nissan Altimas, Honda Civics, sometimes there's like a year range that the parts are very similar to one another. But when you start looking at different decades from time to time, you're going to see like how the parts are going to be very different. But same thing when it comes to houses, you got to compare apples to apples. And when we're looking for similar homes in the area, this is how we want to get this is how we're going to be getting the ARV of a property is we got to compare and look for similar homes around the area for these as well too. And the way it goes is if you're looking at a 1,400 square foot home, you want to go plus or minus 300 square feet of the living space. If you're like me in the Midwest states, you're gonna have a lot of acre lands or acre properties out there. If you're comparing acres, you gotta compare another property to acres. So if you're looking at the lot size, you're gonna be going plus or minus 2,500 square feet on these. Looking for some of these comps or some of these comparables on these properties or some of these apples to apples, you want to stick to a specific radius, half mile to 1 mile radius. You are able to go a little bit more on these radiuses. The only thing is the further you go out, the lower the price. You have to make some adjustments on the price. That is the consequence because the closer you are to the property, the more accurate you're going to be on the actual price and what the property can sell for. But again, as you start going more extensive, then the price, you need to make some adjustments on that price point as well too. Next is double yellow line roads. And this is very common when we're looking at those radiuses because when we're looking for properties within the neighborhood, you are going to come across major roads. And these major roads or double yellow line roads, what I like to call them, or what they're actually called, I guess. These are going to be heavy traffic roads. There's going to be heavy traffic from commuters, buses, delivery trucks, construction trucks, semi trucks. The sky's the limit on how heavy the traffic and what kind of cars and trucks are driving on these roads. But these roads are constantly busy in terms of like traffic, and that's where the neighborhood gets separated because the one side of the road is one neighborhood and the other side of the road is another whole different neighborhood as well too, because whenever the property gets compared to or appraised as well too, an appraiser is not going to compare two different neighborhoods to find what the price of a property in one neighborhood is going to be like. They got to stick within the same neighborhood. So whenever you come across these heavy traffic roads, if you see like six or more cars or eight or more cars, that's going to be a heavy traffic road. So that's where you want to stick within the same neighborhoods. And that's why I was mentioning that stick within the half mile to 1 mile radius because you are going to come across within that type of distance, you are going to come across major roads of flow of traffic Again, going back to the comparables, make sure you stick within the same years. You don't want to compare a 2024 new construction home to a 1940s home whatsoever. Materials, costs, regulations are very different throughout those 2 years. So again, you want to stick apples to apples and make sure that you compare those two from one another and stick within the same years. Looking at comps, we want to find at least 3 to 5 comps, and we're going to be looking at different time frames. What I mean by different time frames, this is a terminology from trading. Whenever you're looking at a stock, you want to look at different time frames, and what different time frames means, you want to look at a time where it shows you like a 1 minute time frame, a 5 minute time frame, and a 1 hour time frame. Those are going to show different things on the chart, or like a 1 month time frame as well too, or 1 year. It's just the way the chart's going to look is going to be very different. So same thing when it comes to looking at these comps or looking for comps, you want to look at different time frames. And what these different time frames are going to be is pretty much what has sold or recently sold properties. That's the time frame of the past, what happened in the past. You want to look at what's actually active right now. That's the future, because what hasn't sold, it's what's gonna be coming soon for sale, or is what's gonna be selling soon or in the future. And what's pending right now is the time frame of what's actually happening right now. So properties that are under contract today at this exact minute, that are on the contract, that's telling you how the market is reacting currently at this exact moment on that area, or the close to your subject property as well too. So those are the 3 different time frames. So the past, the present, and the future. Past is sold or recently sold. Present is what's under contract or what's under or pending at the moment. And what's for sale and still available, that's the future, because who knows when that property is going to be selling. And whenever you're looking at recently sold, you want to go back at least 6 to 9 months. You want to get really close. Just because, again, going back to rates were different more than even just 3 months ago. Rates were different, slightly, but it just stick within 6 to 9 months of recently sold. But other than that, let's just dive into some analysis. If you guys have a specific market you want me to analyze, by all means, you can drop the market on the chat, or if you have a specific address you want me to analyze, it's perfectly fine. You can go ahead and drop that if you like. But let me pull this really quick. Where is it at? All right, cool. Where's my Zoom? Let's go here, share screen. This one, bam. All right. So let me pull, I think it's this one. Yes, it is. If you guys don't have a specific market you want me to analyze, or a specific property, you can drop it in the chat. I'll go through maybe as the second option. But I'm gonna use this random city selector, so that way we can see where we're gonna get into. And Santa Rosa, California. Okay, I haven't done Santa Rosa, California. And I'm gonna show you guys a few tricks as well too on how to find some of this stuff. So let me go through here. Let me go through Zillow. So first things first, and I have a couple steps is if you guys don't have like a CRM, that's perfectly fine. But I do have a specific steps that I like to go through whenever I'm analyzing. I'm interested in the Washington state market. What part of Washington? If you can give me a county, I'll check. Give me the county. I'll definitely check it out before I start heading over here. So meanwhile, you type in that, Carla, what county you want me to analyze. I'm gonna go through this really quick. So I have a specific steps that I like to go. Again, I like to reverse everything like I was mentioning in the beginning, especially in the market that I don't know. In just a few minutes, I'm gonna get a county that I don't know in Washington. I'm in California. I mean, I might know it, maybe. It just depends. But let's say Washington State. In Washington State, I don't know the market. First thing I gotta do is I gotta analyze the market. So these are previous ones that we've done on the live Zooms, and I'm gonna show you guys what this does and how to get this information, because how to find the market and how to analyze the market, it literally takes seconds. It shouldn't take more than 30 seconds for you to find out, especially when you have something like this, or right here as well too. And what this does is on the left side, it tells me how much homes are potentially going to go for, which I'm going to show you guys in a few minutes how to find that, how to find this information or this data, because it's available out there. And what this does, it calculates the numbers for me on how much my offer should be coming along. This altogether can be collectively, I can find the average number at the bottom or average numbers at the bottom. But how to get this information, I'm gonna show you guys that really quick. So that's step number one, finding the market. After that is step number two, finding buyers. These are just fake buyers that I just put in here so that way you guys can like see it. And then after that, I got to look for properties. Today on this process, I'm not going to be looking for buyers because I'm not trying to wholesale in this market whatsoever. It's just I want to walk you guys through like the steps. But I'm going to show you guys how to look for fix and flippers. Um, um, Either on these platforms like Redfin, Zillow, PropWire, and also look for properties. We're going to use these the same ones that I just mentioned right now. And after that, of course, we're going to dive into some analysis. Okay, so we have, oh, so I'm gonna go with Carla. I don't know if Solano County is part of Washington, but I'm gonna go with Carla because Carla did mention ask for it first, and I'll get to yours, Christian. So let's go into Pierce County. Pierce County, WA. All right, cool. So first things first, I gotta analyze the market. I've never been to Pierce County, Washington. I've been to Seattle. I just never been to uh anywhere in Pierce County. Or is this where Tacoma is at actually? I don't even know. Regardless, so first things first that I need to do is go back to my markets. So like I was mentioning to you guys, is with these, I gotta get my market. And in a matter of seconds, Zillow has the information for me on all this data. So what I want to find out is how much homes can go for here in Pierce County, Washington, is I'm gonna scroll past all of these properties, and I'm gonna head over to this beautiful section. They changed it? No way. Oh, they did. Okay. I got scared for a minute. Oh no, they did change it. What? Wow, that's crazy. Damn, they probably watch a lot of my stuff and they're like, you can't show this stuff anymore. No, I'm kidding. Here it is. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I thought they changed it for a minute because I got tripped out by this. But here it is. Explore nearby and average home values. So this is telling me how much homes can go for. And it's a mix. It is a mix of recently updated homes to like bad conditioning homes. It is a mix. But what this does, it tells me what the potential ARV are for all these homes in all in Pierce County, all the cities inside of Pierce County. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna collect all of these numbers. I'm gonna copy them. I'm gonna go back to my CRM. I'm gonna head over here. I'm gonna head over to paste or paste special and values, and I'm gonna paste that information. And right here on the left side again, all these numbers are what I just got from Zillow. And what this numbers or potential offer numbers on the right side are is based on the strategy. So if I want to look for a lot of buy and hold, the strategy is right up here in orange. If I want to look for a lot of buy and hold properties, the strategy I want to look for properties at 80% of what they could potentially sell for. If I want to look for properties um that are fix and flip, then it's going to go based on the 70% strategy. And then this is the way the numbers do change based on that as well too. So depends on what I'm looking for, and I get to see what the average ones go. So average on the whole county of Pierce County, on all the cities that I just got, the average property can sell for $550,000. I want to look for properties that are worth $365,000 or less to make it a deal for me. If I want to fix and flip, if I want to buy and hold, I still want to get like a discount out of it as well too. I want to, you see the price on the left didn't change because that still remains the same, but it's the price on the right that changed because my strategy changed. So the price now went up to close to like $420,000 on it. So let me make this Pierce County. WA. So this is my market. So I'm gonna look for a lot of fix and flip deals right now. So let's look for some of these fix and flip opportunities. And my price is 365. So now what I'm gonna do, now that I've researched my market, And the reason I call it research my market is because now what I have to do is whenever I look for properties and I'm analyzing a lot of these properties, all depending on what city they're coming in from, all I have to do is confirm, can the property sell for this much? So if I find a property in Orton, Orting, if the properties can sell in Orton for $551,000, and all I have to do is whenever I look for comps, is I want to make sure, can the property sell for 550, for 551? Can it sell for more, or is it going to sell for a lot less? That's the thing, is this is what I need to confirm. And that's my process of analysis, is just to confirm the information that's already out there. I'm not going to be struggling on trying to find what exactly each single fix and flip home can go for. All I want to do is confirm, can the property sell for this much? Because Zillow is already doing that homework for me of telling me what the potentials are. Even Redfin does the same thing as well too. If you guys happen to use Redfin, Realtor.com doesn't do it, unfortunately. What else? What's the other platform? I think that's it. I think just Realtor. Same thing with Redfin. If anybody uses Redfin does the same thing right over here. Cities. These are going to be all the cities over here. You can head over to show more and same thing. And sometimes it's always good to like compare. So if we look at a city, Lazy, let's see, is Lazy part of this list? I didn't see Lazy on here. Um, I'm trying to look for like a city that it's similar to it. Auburn, anything Auburn? No. But sometimes when you find for like similar properties, you're gonna see like the price is gonna be a little bit different from one another. But again, that's what I want to do, is I want to confirm these properties whatsoever. But what I want to look for, so now I'm gonna filter down. I gotta look for properties worth less than $365,000. If there's anything, if I have to make some adjustments in the price, then by all means. And wow, okay, so we have 421 results. Cool. So that's just the price. I'm playing the price for right now. Now let me look for specifically just for houses. So now I went from 2,000 properties to 400 down to 29 properties in a matter of, again, if I wasn't explaining all this, it'll be just in a matter of like 2 minutes. I researched my market. I found out what I need to confirm for. And now what I want to do, look for is I want to look straight for properties. And these are properties that are sitting on the market or currently right now, depending on how long they've been sitting for. Some of them could be new, but now it's time for us to look for a deal. And the way we're gonna look for a deal is, something else, something that I learned it just depends on what sells the most as well too. I like to look for properties I like to look for properties that are at least 1,000 square feet. That's probably going to adjust my numbers by a lot. Here we go. And the reason why is because anything over 1,000 feet sells a little bit quicker. Seven, depending if a lot of people like those tiny homes, like 750, 800, 900. I mean, those are all right, but it just depends on what a lot of project properties, they're going to be more of 1,000, like 1,000, 1,100, 1,200, 1,400. Those are very popular that can sell really quickly. So that's what I want to look for. And as you guys can see, it went from 29 results down to like 8. So now I get 8 potential properties, and this is just one platform. If I do the same thing to on Redfin, it's going to be a whole different information because Zillow has its own data, and Redfin has its own data. PropWire, this is another free platform. You don't have to pay or a subscription or anything whatsoever. Same thing, this is gonna give me a whole different set of data. Realtor.com is gonna give me a whole different set of data. So having all of these available, they're going to give you different types of information. Some you're going to see some of the same properties again across the board, but they're going to have like 1 to 3 different properties that are going to be they're going to be different from one another. So just give you a heads up. Different platforms give you different results. But Zillow is very popular, so I want to start with Zillow first. And off the bat, out of the 8 results, I have this first property going for 269. It looks like it's in Tacoma, Washington. Hopefully this game did give me Tacoma. Let's see here. It did not give me Tacoma. So what I want to do now is I want to scroll down here and see if it actually popped up. No, it didn't. It didn't. It didn't. It didn't. No, not Tacoma over here. So we'll work on this in just a few minutes. But let me look at the property because so far I can see that this is for sure like a project property. And just by the siding, whatever, if that's a garage or like a drive-through garage, looks like one of those drive-through grocery places or oh man, what is that? I don't know what that is on the wall, but we're gonna keep on moving. Whatever happened over here. Looks like there was probably a fire as well too. Oh man. So it looks like this probably has been abandoned, not abandoned, vacant probably for a while. I'll see a lot of graffiti. I'm not sure if this looks like a squatting home. A lot of maybe some squatters. If you guys don't know what squatters are, it's just basically did not occupy. So it looks like the city might own this as well too, if anything. But this is a nightmare home. And it's just a nightmare just because of everything, of the whole mess that is in there. But I'm looking more at the structure stuff. So I'm looking at the kitchen. Definitely needs the kitchen. Definitely needs the floor. Definitely needs the lighting, paint, windows, for sure. Make that furnace or water heater. That's definitely gonna need to change as well too. Some structural stuff over here with this garage. It looks like it's already collapsing. So that's gonna so this is gonna be I'm more of a gut job type of property. Windows as well too, siding, painting, the shingles on the roof. I don't know how bad they are because they didn't take pictures of that, and it's a one level home. And another thing that I'm noticing with looking at this is comparing the neighborhood. As you guys can see, the house to the left and the house to the right are two levels. And this home is only one level. And that's the thing is to an investor, do they want to match up the whole neighborhood? I'm not sure how many like one level homes are in this area, but again, that's the process of analyzing. But that's something that I have to keep in mind. If the investor wants to add a second level, again, how much is it going to cost to add that second level to match it up to the neighborhood? If they just want to keep it one level, by all means, they can keep it one level. But these are examples of what I talk about when I mention repairs. I can give some numbers, but at the end of the day, it's really up to the investor or what exactly they want to do. But at the same time, what's going to be selling overall. So now what I'm going to do, now that I have this subject property, I'm going to duplicate this tab so that way I can have my subject property open. And let me look exactly where it is. Oh, look, and it looks like we have another property in the same area going for sale, and it's a one level home. And this one level home is going for 337. The only thing is the square footage is different. Um, so this is a 1600 and then this is a 1000. I remember earlier we want to compare apples to apples, so plus or minus 300 on the square footage. So this doesn't really it won't be considered as a comp. The only thing is if this property at 1600 square feet looks really well maintained, great siding, doors, maybe the windows might need something. Floor, just change the carpet. This is kind of like those light repairs as well too. Kitchen doesn't look very modern at all whatsoever. It just looks very rental type of property. So this is a great rental property, but it's only selling for 337, and that's giving me already red flags on our subject property because if that's going for 337 at the condition that it is, and this is asking 269, then this is kind of overpriced. How long has it been sitting on the market? Only 2 days. So yeah, it's still very fresh as well too. So let's see what I'm able to find based on my pri on based on the square footage that I'm looking for right now. So I was mentioning major roads. You see the center street, that's going to be a major road. South Union Avenue. Looks like we have this highway over here. There's an exit ramp to South Union. South Union or Union Avenue is going to be one of those major roads. So I can't cross Union Avenue. I'm for sure can't cross Center Avenue because Center is another major road. That there's an off ramp or there's a freeway entrance right over here as well too. So center and so that's going to be closing out. So my boundaries is just basically this specific neighborhood right over here. All of this. It looks like I can I can go a little bit more south because I see this major road, Tyler Street, goes into these other neighborhoods. But this is why I gotta start looking for some comps. So let me take away the price range because I want to look for a crazy expensive home. Um, First things first, I want to set up the square footage. So my property is 1,000 square feet. So I have to go plus or minus 300, so 750 or and higher. There's no 1,300, so it looks like 1,250 is what I'm able to go up to um, on the property. And right now, I'm looking for what's for sale right now. So I remember I was talking about I gotta look at past, present, and future. So what's for sale right now? It's the future. There's this subject property selling for 299. What's the condition of this property inside of here? You guys can see way better conditioning. Roof looks really good. Windows, paint could be a little bit better. Um, yeah, definitely some painting as well too, but not too bad. 832 square feet. Let me look at what's under contract. So this button, accepting backup offers, that could be a button, but this is the one that I'm looking for, pending slash under contract. Let me see what's available. And bam, I got three, and I hope these three are my key ones for comps because I want to look for 3 to 5 comps. We have this one right over here, 1160 square feet for okay. Bam. Ah, here we go. This is an amazing comp off the bat, and this is pending right now. It's under contract right this minute as we're talking about it. And the reason I'm able to tell it's a great comp is because the property is staged. Like all the furniture that is in here, this is AI generated. Sometimes they have it, sometimes they don't, but I can tell by the pictures this is AI generated. There it is. There's no all of a sudden the table goes away and then the sofas go away from the AI. Even the fridge, I think you can see the fridge over here looks, oh, look at that cool fridge. And all of a sudden you switch over to the next picture. Hey, what happened to the fridge? So why is it dented all of a sudden? So this is AI generated for those for the furniture to make it stand look good. But this is a comp right over here off the bat. Really great shape. Windows, paint, flooring, kitchen, bathroom. Is it bathroom? I don't think it's a bathroom. Painting on the outside as well too. Some landscaping. Maybe we just probably had to cut the grass a little bit. They probably left the shed as is. They didn't do anything major in there. But this is a great comp off the bat, and it's 1160. So now I want to dive into the numbers. I'm gonna pull up my calculator really quick. What's the price? 269, 1,000 square feet. So 269. 1,000? Oh, that's 1,038. 1,038 is my square footage. There's no basement. There's no basement, right? No, there's no basement on this property. Oh, the only thing I forgot to check. Yeah, it's a single level home. Okay, cool. I want to fix and flip this deal. So again, I'm thinking as a buyer. We mentioned this could be a gut job type of property. If you guys go back to the presentation, the gut jobs repairs are going to cost between 45 to 60. It is in Seattle. It is in Tacoma. So it is going to be one of those cities where I have to add 15 to $20 more on the repairs. And I'm gonna go with like 50 plus the 15 for right now. $50 per square foot will be my regular what I will price this at, plus the 15 because it's in an expensive city. It's going to be $55 per square foot on the repairs. There's no basement, so I don't have to worry about. So it's going to put roughly around $57,000 worth of repairs. Again, it could be a little bit more. It looks like it needs more than 57. That's because all of the we have to get rid of all this stuff. And I'm looking more. I don't care about the stuff that is in there. I'm looking more at the structure of this. The only thing that I see as a problem was the garage, whatever is collapsing over here. But it's just like the ceiling that it could be coming off. But again, it's really up to the buyer if they want to spend less or if they want to spend more at the end of the day. I'm just doing rough estimates. I know my investor want to make a 20% profit on this deal. And I was like, whoa, what's going on with this? So 269, $57,000 worth of repairs. The property needs to resell for $423,000. My first comp is selling for $400,000 off the bat, which puts it at $345 per square foot. So I pull my first comp. I'm gonna put my first comp over here, $345 per square foot. That's one comp. That's under contract right now too. So remember that. Off the bat, this is a good area. This one looks like a new construction home. It's a 1989. What years are subject property? 1963. Okay, so this won't really work. It's a 20-year difference. Again, 20 did I check that on this property? Oh man, this was not gonna work either. 2004. Man. So no good comps so far, and this is already two levels, so this is not gonna work at all whatsoever. 2007. So I gotta look for a 1963 comp. So these ones, I thought they're gonna be working. I can't really pull this one at all. Uh, this is across my major roads at all whatsoever. What's going on? The internet drop? No, internet's still good. I don't know what's going on with Zillow. Let me refresh real quick. So again, as mentioning, you want to stick to a plus or minus 10 years. Some of these comps that are under contract are pending or under contract right now. They're not working because of the years. I can pull this one, as mentioned earlier. I can go a little more extensive than my comp. It's just now I have to play some price reduction. But this is a 1937 property over here. But what I like about this though, it's still a deal. It's just I need to figure out where is it gonna make it a deal. The reason why it's a deal is because there's these other project properties that are selling right now. So there's three of those that are pending on their contract right now, and that's telling me that this is a good market area. So it's a great property so far to make it a project. It's just I need to back it up with my data, and that data has to be the properties that have sold. So let me go for what has actually sold in this area and see what I'm able to find. And I want to look for properties that have sold in the last 6 to 9 months. So let me see what's available in the last 6 months. And it has to be between 1953 to 1973. So we have this one that sold in April 8th of this year. What year is this home? Because this already sold. So this is 1918, but it was in really great shape as well too. So this is a little bit older home. So this is the data that I'm now collecting is great floor, walls, paint, kitchen. They did like basic stuff. Bathrooms really good. Great lighting as well too. Um, so a really well maintained property overall. And this sold, even though it's an older home and a little bit smaller home, this sold for 318. And 318, what is that? Price per square foot. 318 divided by the square footage of 880. This sold for $361 per square foot. So I'm gonna use that as my comp. So smaller sizing, older home for a reasonable price. That's a good signal so far. This is a 1,200 square foot home. This sold for 440. There's no pictures over here, but this is what I like to do is for some reason, realtor.com keeps like a lot of the pictures. So what? Kansas City. Oh, we're looking at Washington over here, buddy. All right, let's see. So let me see if realtor.com has the pictures of what the property looked like when it sold, if it has any. Because this one, it's a little bit more, 440. It sold in March of this year. It's just there's no pictures of it for whatever reason. This is still loading over here. But if this was in really great shape, 440 divided by 1122 square footage, that sold for $392 per square foot. Same thing, 1912, older home. Where's that? Right here. Cool, cool, cool. Let's see. Let's see if we can get lucky with some of these pictures. No, no pictures at all whatsoever. I think this might have been, yeah, this was a lot. So our property doesn't have a almost a half an acre of a lot. So that's the only thing I'm noticing right now. So this won't actually work because of the acres of the lot. We're not buying acres. We only have 6,000 square feet of a lot, while comparable to that's close to like what is that? 8,000 of I think it's 8,000 of the lot. So this won't really work or whatsoever because it was more of the lot size that sold. Okay, what about this one? 3-1. What's the year? What's the year? What's the year? 1910. One level home. Yeah. I think it's like 1.5. I see like the siding right here. Um, this sold for 415, 1,200 square feet. 415 divided by 1242. This sold for 334 per square foot. 334. Again, a little bit older home as well too. So a lot of the older homes are selling. That's really good. And this 270. And now I see where the price came for our subject property, that 269 right over here, February 14th. Look at that boarded up property right there. Street viewer. There's a boarded up property, single family home. The two homes right next to it are 2 levels. Massive home right over here. Jeez. And then this other subject property over here as well too. And this sold for 270 back in February. And same thing, look at that, 1,000 square feet. So the property, like I said, the property is a great subject property. It's just how much can it actually sell for. Um, in terms of it, we have some of these across the street. 880 sold this year March, but again, look at that. This is a great fix and flip property right here. 800 cabinets, refrigerator, appliances, everything. Ranch style sliding doors. For the closet. Oh, that's creative. Okay. Great bathroom. So marvelous home. And this is an 800 square foot home as well, too. So, but then the only thing is it's across the street. So 442 divided by 880. This sold for $500 per square foot. Jeez, that's really good. But again, with the price, I'll probably adjust it by $10,000. So what is that for 410? I'm gonna play it safe and go with 400,000. 400,000 divided by 880. So 454. So that gives me like a range. This gives me like a range of also all these comps. And I'm sorry I'm not talking a lot about it real quick or what I'm going through. But what I'm looking for is basically this. I'm looking for um subject properties that can really match up to it. Like this one that I'm looking at right now. This is a great subject property as a comp. And the only thing is it's across that major road. But because it's across the major road, I'm gonna deduct like 10,000. But because it's to play it safe, I'm gonna go a little bit lower. And where I'm coming up with that number is because it's literally across the street. It's nothing too it's not like all the way over here, like across another major road. It's literally across Center Street. So it's not like way too far from the radius. It's just across um this major road on Center Street. That's one. Two, the other subject properties that I was looking at, like this one sold in November of last year, but great shape of a home, great condition. It's a little bit older, so I'm noticing older homes are valued a little bit more, which is kind of crazy. But again, I don't know how the market reacts on. I'm noticing that from this market because I've never been to Pierce County, whatsoever. So I'm just paying attention to what's happening. This other one we couldn't really pull it as a comp because this one sold based on the acres. So they were selling about a 0.4, almost half of an acre over here, so I can't really use that as a comp whatsoever. This 286 thousand property that is now selling for 480. I can't really pull this one. It's a little bit older home, but it's a great shape. So I'm looking for properties that are reasonable enough where it makes sense. Kind of like this one as well too. They're in great shape homes, so what it will actually sell for. And I'm noticing that a lot of 800 actually 800 and maybe 900 square foot homes, even 1,000 square foot homes, are selling at a higher price, which is really crazy. Because if we looked earlier, a lot of the prices on what's actually active right now, um, and what's under contract right now too, they're selling a little bit less. Except for this one. This one's like the most expensive one that it's happening right now, but it's pending under contract right now. That's also pending under contract right now as well too. Same thing with this one. I think that this one is just active. But I'm trying to figure out what comps I will be best fit so they can give me like a number of how much my property can sell for. And based on the comps that I pulled on the three that I actually pulled so far, it looks like the property can resell for $397,000. And I'm gonna call it even 398. So 398 is what can the property resell. So me as a fix and flip investor, if I need to spend $57,000 worth of repairs, how much can I actually buy this property for? And this is what the calculator will do for me. It will calculate my conservative investor, who is going to be my low ball offer. Sorry, who's going to be my high ball offer? The conservative will be paying a little bit more versus the aggressive investor, who's going to be my low ball investor. How much are they willing to pay for this? Because this property can sell for at most 398. Plus the time is gonna take to like repair it, maybe 2 months. If so, honestly, it could probably be a little bit less, because it's not like a giant home and it's not two levels as well too. It can be fixed up in 2.5 months, put it back in the market. And if we look in 2.5 months, that's gonna be July. So July, maybe August is when the home can sell for. And depending on what prices of homes are going for there, depending on how much rates are going around that time, that's what's going to be really interesting, because maybe now around July and August, it's going to be those are the months that the market's really hot. So those are the months where maybe once we get it fixed up, we can actually push it for it to sell for more than 398. We can probably push it for like 410, 415. And then from there, if we can come down lower, the lowest that we're willing to come down to probably be 398. Honestly, me as a fix and flip investor, that's the way I will process it. So that will be my process. So my investors will want to buy it between 221 to $238,000. And the property is sitting at 269, so I gotta get it lower than that. And now the process, and then this is how much it will be for them. My investors are willing to pay like the closing costs from the seller and their end as well too, the buyer. Their profit, they want to make 20%. So on this fix and flip deal, as a fix and flip investor will make roughly $60,000 for this deal, based on the numbers that we're able to pull up so far on how much the property can sell for. But again, if we're able to push it down to like $415,000, that $415,000, again in July or August, if we're able to push it, then our profit could be could definitely be a little bit more from there as well too. But again, it's just playing those numbers games on what's actually happening right now. And what's actually happening is we can sell it right now for 398, but it's just the time we get it fixed up. That's the only thing. So now that I know how much my investors are willing to purchase it, where does my wholesale fee land into this? Well, here's the thing. Uh, from my experience, I can definitely push it for like this much, and I can play the patience game because one, the property has only been listed for 2 days, so that's one. Two, is if you're a new wholesaler starting to start off, you're like, I don't know, how can I push it to be that aggressive? Well, the other thing too is look for what's the most that an aggressive investor is willing to purchase it. So if they're willing to purchase $220,000, you gotta let them know. Look, I gotta let the agent know. Look, the most I'm willing to pay for it, it'll be 221 because X, Y, and Z. I'm noticing a lot of these properties are selling around 400,000, maybe a little bit less. I'm gonna need it roughly around $60,000 to fix up this property. And I still need to make my investment because again, I'm coming in as an investor who wants to come into this property that definitely needs some fixing and flipping. But based on those numbers, my offer is close to like $221,000. But of course, you're not gonna mention that to the agent off the bat, like, hey, my offer is gonna be $221,000. You want to come up to that number. The strategy is to come up to that number or try to get below that number at all whatsoever. Because if you shoot your number that is the most that you're willing to pay for, then you're gonna end up overpaying for this property. Overall, they're like, oh, 221, it's too low. Well, yeah, no crap, it's too low, but that's I'm looking at the comps. If you can prove me wrong, then by all means prove me wrong. If the property can sell for 450, $500,000, then by all means, I'll for sure buy it because that's where it will make more sense. $500,000, I can overpay for this property, but there's nothing selling for $500,000 that is a thousand square feet and it's a one level property at all whatsoever. All the properties in the area are literally selling for $400,000. But by the time we get it fixed up, maybe we can sell it for a little bit more. But that's the realistic stuff right there. So the first thing that you could do as a wholesaler is one, start lower, start at $200,000, and it's no disrespect to the agent, it's no disrespect to the seller at all whatsoever. It's just what's the reality of it, what it will take to buy this property, because as the investor, you don't want to buy a property and let it rot, comparable to how much is already rotting in itself. Who knows how long this property has been vacant for, as well too. One, two is, look, this is where the numbers are looking. I looked at the area. I'm trying to look for some comps right now as I'm talking to you, Mr. or Miss Agent, and I'm noticing that's where the prices are at, and I need to make my cut as well too. Even if I wanted to make 15% out of this deal, let's go with 15%. Say if I wanted to make 15% on this deal, let's go right here. I'm 50% right here. I still want to make more, $45,000, and what, 2.5 months, 2.5, maybe 3 months, if anything. Um, that's gonna put you at around $15,000 each single month. Like, is that really gonna be worth it as a as a investor? If for some of them it might be, for some others it might not really be at all whatsoever. So it really has to make sense, like on the numbers where you want to come up to it. But now as the wholesaler, if you want to push it to be really aggressive, and the reason why is because again you have to come up to these realistic numbers, of 221 to $238,000. This is the range where an actual investor want to purchase your property or your contract from. So it's going to be really hard for you to get it if you have the property in the contract for 221, because again, all investors are going to do the numbers very differently, and they're going to end up telling you like, yeah, I can't buy it for more than that. Even if you try to get like a $10,000 wholesale fee, it's not really going to benefit them at all whatsoever, because really need to find somebody who's going to be very conservative. But it just depends on how the markets are and who's willing to like pay maybe a little bit more, because now whenever you have the property in the contract, what you're going to be doing is in a sale of a sale of a assignment contract. And what that is basically now you're selling not the property, but that paperwork that, hey, I have a property that it needs this much, it can go for this much. Are you interested? Because I'm selling it for this much. And that amount is your wholesale fee. So if you got on the contract for 220, yeah, and you're like, oh, I want to make a $10,000 wholesale fee. You want to start up a little bit higher and work your way down numbers. Same thing when you get a property, you want to get a property in the contract, it's a little bit reverse. You want to count down low and then work your numbers up to that as well too. Now that's fixing and flipping. Now if you find because you're gonna find different types of investors. Now if you come across somebody who wants to buy and hold, then somebody who is willing to buy it, fix it up, and then hold it, then those are the ones that are going to be really good to like sell them to, because they're going to be willing to pay close to what the asking price is. And if you look at the asking price, they're willing to pay up to $272,000. And how much is a property? 269. So it really depends on who is interested in buying this property. So it just depends on the strategy that they want to do. But if the numbers make sense, On the fix and flip side, it has to make sense on the fix and flip side. If you come across an investor who wants to buy and hold, then you can notice that the buy and hold strategy works more ideal because they're playing the long-term game, they play the taxes game, they play the depreciation game, and they're getting rental income, so it really doesn't hurt them at all whatsoever. Um, and it's already vacant as well too, so they can bring their rent. The rent has to make sense as well too, but that's another thing too, that just because one strategy doesn't work, you always got to look at a different angle, look from a different perspective and see what makes sense. And honestly, as a buy and hold, it makes sense even to like spend that money, even the $60,000 to like fix it up and rent it out. And they don't have to do anything too major because we did come across some properties that it looked like they were rental properties. Which ones were they? There was one of them. I think it was not that one. Was it this one? I think it was this $300,000 one. No. Oh yeah, yeah. They don't have to do like really luxury stuff whatsoever. They just have to do new paint, and they can. This is the kitchen. The cabinets are a little bit older, so this could be like they don't have to do anything too major. So they could be very light stuff that they can add to it to make it really unique as well too. They can even get cheap cabinets as well too, and still bringing the rent a little bit higher than that. But keeping as a rental property as well too, it's just going to be less expensive for them, and it's just more profit at the end of the day because again, the buy and hold investor will do a little bit more on whatsoever. So whenever you look for investors on both strategies, and always send out your property if you get under contract. If you have to get under contract, pitch it out to all types of investors that are willing to either buy and hold or fix and flip, because you never know who's interested in overpaying. Because if you get under contract for 220 and then you have an investor who's like, oh, actually, I like this property, I'll definitely fix it up and I'll rent it out, you see how much they're willing to pay for it. They're willing to pay close to like the asking price, maybe a little bit more as well too. So of course they're gonna want a discount. So don't get greedy and try to sell it at the asking price. You want to make sure that you give them like a deal. So if you get it for 220, sell it to them for 250. Get your $30,000 wholesale fee, because that's gonna be a discount for them. Yeah, I'll take it for 250. That's almost ten to $15,000 of a difference. Sorry, that's a almost a $20,000 hold a difference from what's like the property is actually going for. So yeah, for sure, they'll for sure take that off your hands right away as well too. Sometimes there's some greedy wholesalers out there that are like, oh yeah, I got the property for 220, and the property was listed on the market for 270, so I'm selling it for 270. That's not a deal. Honestly, that's not really a deal whatsoever. So hopefully I was able to help you out. Who was it? Carla, I'm not sure if this is like your market, but I just needed some analysis. And honestly, I'll continue checking this area. What is this? Tacoma? It looks like this area of Tacoma looks really good. South Tacoma looks like it is. And Faircrest looks like this area is really good overall. I don't know about this side, but you have a really good a market. And again, I'll go through the steps that I was walking through, so that way you can go to like analyzing it again, go through the markets, which you already did. I'll show you how to pull that information. If you want to look for a specific city, the way you go is make sure you reset all your filters, because Tacoma didn't pop up on the list. And just type in Tacoma, Washington, and then head back down to like the list of the cities, and then Tacoma is gonna should be able to pop up. Here we go. Tacoma should be able to pop up on the list right over here. So there it is. Properties in Tacoma can sell for $485,000. But again, we just noticed that in some areas it can, in some areas it won't. So we noticed that this area is more closer to $400,000. So that's why these numbers that pop up on the right side is just to confirm, can the property sell for this at X amount of dollars whatsoever. Um, there was somebody else. I'm not sure if you guys uh were interested on doing the other one. I think it was Christian. Christian. Yeah, there was another Solano County. Let me do Solano County really quick. Solano County. Solano County, California. Okay. Solano County. All right, so let's check it out. Solano County. And I'm gonna leave it open for you. If you guys have specific questions, we'll get to it. Is there a way to access? Yeah, it's on my website, eltonvargas.com. I thought I had put the link earlier. It's gonna be like all the way at the bottom. I'll give you the link right now. It's right over here. It's like 15 bucks, 17 bucks for it. So that way you can keep a track of that. There, I put the link in there. But let me head to Solano County. Same thing. Christian, if you happen to be still on. Um, First thing we got to do is analyze our market. I've been into some of these cities over here. I'm actually from San Francisco myself. I just live in Southern California now. But same thing. I got to look for all these properties. So Solano County, I got to look for all these prices. Let's see what kind of deals we're able to get. I'm gonna head over here. I'm gonna paste special values and then paste it. There's all my cities. So conquer all this and that. The average price on Solano County goes for $630,000, and then I gotta look for properties worth $400,000 or less. So look for fix and flip deals, or as we noticed from the other county in Washington, it could be like we can make it a rental property as well too. So if the numbers make sense on the fix and flip or the buy and hold, by all means. So $400,000. Let's look for some houses and let's see what we're able to find. So $400,000 properties. Okay, we have 18 results. The only thing with these 18 results, I see they're kind of scattered out. But that's the cool thing is we have our cities. So let's see what we're able to get. Let me look for properties that are priced the lowest. So 260, 1,000 square feet. Um, Prices low to high. It's just easier for me to find like those crappy homes as well too. That has been sitting for 10 days. That looks like a great subject property in Vallejo, California. It's a very great area. I'm not sure if Six Flags is still out there in Vallejo, California. Um, this one looks really good. Nothing too bad. Let's look for this one because this one's in Vista, California. Vista. This is for sale. Awesome. So let me duplicate this. Cool. Once I duplicate it, now let me head back over here and let's look at the pictures. What kind of work we're looking? So outside, nothing too bad, nothing too crazy. Definitely need some painting. The roof looks a little bit old. It looks like the agent or whoever took the picture of this didn't use flash and didn't clean their lens. There's those smudges. So definitely start listing down what kind of things does it need? Does it need lighting? Does it need paint? Does it need the kitchen update? Does it need the flooring? Does it need the windows? So those are all the things that I need to start listing out so that way I'm able to tell like it's gonna be like a full gut. This is definitely not a gut job property at all. Well, if you look back earlier at the presentation, what a gut job property looks like, that's a gut job property. This doesn't look like that. This looks more like this, like an average repair type of property. At least in the pictures, it just things are really more outdated or they're just in bad shape. So this is definitely going to be an average repair property. It's just what kind of things do I think it needs? So let me go back from the outside. Outside, maybe cut the grass a little bit. Maybe just I'll power wash this as well too. Maybe power wash the home. Make sure I paint it. So it has to be outside painting. The garage it looks really good. Again, outside paint. So far, kitchen, definitely do the kitchen, definitely do the flooring, lighting, windows, they look a little bit outdated too. So again, this is uh, painting and lighting. Bathrooms, bathroom doesn't look too bad from the bathtub itself, but I didn't show the whole kitchen. Garage looks really good. Oh, here we go. Yeah, definitely for sure the bathroom. So again, just an average, it's gonna be an average repair type of property. And Yes, definitely for sure the windows. I see some wooden windows as well too. And I know, oh my God, this is a crazy thing. Is here in Southern California, I come across all of these old looking chimney properties. And I know this type of property, the best way to like showcase it and stage it is going to be creating like those urban type, not urban, what's the word? It's more like those, what's the word? What's the word? Um, Stage. Let me look it up. Let me look it up. What kind of staging it is? It's not urban. What is this? Home staging. It's kind of like this gypsy type of like looking style, type of home. I don't know what the word of it is, but if you guys get like my understanding of what it looks like, it's not gonna be like this. It's not gonna be like a modern look. There's a word for this, shabby chic. Yeah, I guess you can call it shabby chic. But yeah, hopefully you're able to understand like what I'm trying to ask. Just by that freaking chimney, and just because I noticed the chairs and this table off the bat, I know how to like stage up this property, and it's gonna be more of a brownish type of color, maybe some light coloring, light mocha type of coloring as well too, that I will call it, to like stage it up perfect. It'll be a perfect off the bat. So this is just by the staging, the way you can see how it can get creative, just like that. It automatically, sometimes it can get you can get like a deal just on that as well too. But that's pretty much everything that the property needs. Again, outside paint, kitchen, flooring, windows, inside painting, of course. I'm not sure if I mentioned the flooring, bathrooms. So pretty much all the inside is, again, it looks ugly because all the stuff that is inside, but that's stuff to like get rid of. But that's nothing too shabby chic. Yeah. But off the bat, this is a great property. Just on the repairs that it needs, nothing too crazy. Now, Rio Vista. How much can properties go for Rio Vista? Did it pop up over here? Pasta, no, no. Concord, I don't, oh, Rio Vista. Rio Vista properties can go for 478, almost 480. I'm gonna call it an even 480. 480, we gotta get a discount out of this. If the property can sell for more than 480, then this price is reasonable. If it's not selling for more than 480, then the price I already know off the bat, it's just not gonna be working whatsoever. And here's the way to tell is there's this a wordage that it's called when you buy pennies on the dollar. If you guys hear buying penny on the dollar, so you buy 60 cents of the dollar, this is the way you do it. How much you're buying it. So if the property is selling for 335 and potentially, we still have to confirm it. If potentially the property can sell for 480, oh, where's my divided by 480 is the potential property can sell for. I'm buying this property at 70 cents on the dollar. Honestly, 70 cents on the dollar is not a deal for me. It is not. I like to look for properties that are like between 30 to 60 cents of the dollar. And what I mean is 480 is basically my dollar price point. That's at 100% of maximizing the most out of the property. And the property is selling 70 cents on the dollar. I mean, it's still a deal for somebody out there, but for me, from my experience, I for sure know that I can negotiate even more. Yeah, just by asking the agent, hey, is the price negotiable? Yes, it's definitely negotiable. That gives me the green light, like, okay, cool. I can bring a lower offer where I can get it to like 50 to like 60 cents on the dollar, which is not too far out. But if I want to push a little bit more, I can push a little bit more. So this property is going at 69 cents on the dollar. So it's still a good deal. It's just how much can it actually sell for? That's the thing I gotta confirm. Can it sell for that dollar price point or for 180 $480,000? That's what I need to confirm. So now let's look for some of these comps. Where's our subject property? Rio Vista. Hopefully we're able to get something. Cool. And Rio Vista, it looks like it's not a big city, but we do have this highway as well too, though. but let's see what we're able to get out of this. Let's close it out. And noticing, I'm probably gonna get some lot size properties. I'm guessing just by seeing what's happening over here. But first things first, let me look what's for sale because that's the future and what's under contract right now. And well, how much is the square footage of this property? One more time, 1,000 square feet. So let me look for 750 again, all the way up to 1250 on the square footage. Oh, so we don't have nothing much, not even anything under contract right now as well too. Looks like all the stuff is happening over here. And is this a golf course? I got a feeling that's a golf course. Yep. I maybe, yeah, I had a feeling. This is probably gonna be HOA properties. Yep, HOA properties. I already knew it. Let's see. It's just sometimes it's just when you see too many streets, so many properties, you're able to tell a lot of things over here. But there's nothing on there pending on the contract. The only thing that we hope for is honestly what has sold, and hopefully this has some activity in the last 6 months, because otherwise it's not gonna be a deal whatsoever. And that's the thing, is not every property that you're gonna be looking into is gonna be those properties that are yeah, don't force a deal out of every single property. Sometimes it's just not gonna work. Just move on. There's a lot of properties right now on the market. There's millions of properties that are available on the market right now. Just because you're looking at one specific market doesn't mean that you can't look at a different perspective and look at a whole different market whatsoever. There's deals out there. It's just who's looking for them, and who's sometimes it's just bringing it over to the right person as well, to the right buyer. It's like it's gonna make your life change whatsoever. So it's just don't force every single property to force it a deal. It's just always best to move on forward. There's more deals. It's better to spend more time, a whole hour, maybe a full 8 hours out of your whole day looking at 300 properties, and then only finding 3 to 5 deals out of those 300 properties, than to look at every single property and try to force a deal out of all 300 properties. So, so far we're able to find in the last 6 months, we do have some properties that have sold. This sold in is this in our area? Tahoe Drive? Where's Tahoe? Yeah. Oh, back street, right behind us. February 6th. Please tell me it took. Oh, okay. There's no pictures. Let me check through realtor.com. See if I'm able to get some pictures over here. Let's see. No pictures over here, man. Okay, but I'm not able to tell how much that sold for. It did sell for 450. 450, or AKA divided by 1218, 369 per square foot. The only thing I don't know what the inside looks like. Oh, what about this one? Same thing. I mean, the cool thing is you have two properties in the same neighborhood, right behind our subject property. So that's giving me a green signal. The only thing I don't know what the inside of it looks like for these properties, which is gonna drive me nuts. Oh, thank God. Whew. Okay, okay. And this is what you see. This is what I like to use different platforms, because different platforms give me different data. But we have some pictures. Let's look at these pictures once it decides to load up. So we have this one. This one sold for 450, 1172. And honestly, we can use the first one we looked at because it looks in really great shape. So 383 on the price point. Um, I need to pull my calculator. I'm like, why is this thing popping up over here? Come on, pictures, 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 pictures. So good. Okay, not a fully updated or remodeled home. It's just the outside looks in great shape, honestly. So, but I mean, still great shape, and inside way better than what we're looking into. So great. It's just things are a little bit outdated. So these are gonna be, this is what a live repair looks like. It's just you see a lot of wood stuff, a lot of wood happening over here. That TV, I don't think it should be mounted like that, but they add an extra frame. Um, it just needs a little bit outdated. So this is another great example of a light repair type of property. You just change the floor, change the painting, bam, rent it out. Take off all these wood looking stuff, except for this mirror. This mirror is like very popular, very handy. To a lot of ladies, and maybe some gentlemen as well too. Um, but the house, great shape outside. It's just internally, it was a little bit outdated, but it did sell for $383,000. So that's a comp. And the reason why it's a comp is because, um, again, a buy and hold investor. Hey, you don't really have to do like a lot of stuff, a lot of major repairs to our subject property because this other property sold for 450, and then look how it's not too outdated, but it's definitely outdated as well too. This one we have a 230 900 square foot home. This sold in December, so that's a little bit more outdated. Here we go. Now we're getting closer to the water, so I'm got a feeling that this one's gonna be priced more and probably a little more expensive because it's getting closer to the water. I'm seeing that from the map right over here. So I don't know if there's like any ramps for the boats out there. But let's go back here. Let's go check out and see if there's any pictures on this property. I'm not sure if my internet is bad too, but come on, come on. All right, guys. Technical difficulties with realtor.com. But I know for sure that's gonna be a good one. And this one, same thing, great shape. Just internally, I don't know what's going happening with that one. Okay, so no, it's just I think at this point it's just you guys are getting a little bit of a lag, so I don't want to hold you guys too much. We have one across the street, February, or across the highway. Why is there a lot of pictures on these? What's going on? Like they're not too far outdated. Like, and I know California, it's a disclosure state, so unless the agents were lazy and did not want to take any pictures of it, like I don't understand what's actually going on over here. And still, yeah, realtor.com just it's just not working at all. So based on this, that's those are gonna be my comp. These two are your basically comps right over here. Um, again, they're gonna be a little bit outdated. This one what was it 450 divided by 1218, 369, and the other one was 450 divided by 1172, 383. So let's go back to the numbers really quick, see how much can this property sell for. So 335 is the asking. 335, 1006, was it? 1006 square feet. There's no basement in California homes. Um, awesome, 20% profit. Oh, repairs. Repairs, we're talking about average repairs. So average repairs are between what is it for 25 to $40 per square foot plus the 15 to 20 because it is in California. Uh, let's go here. So I'm gonna go with like $30 per square foot on this. Doesn't need too much of a stuff because again, some of the other properties are selling for a lot more and they're really somewhere outdated as well too. Plus the 15, so $45 per square foot. So around 45, $46,000 is what you're gonna need to fix up the property. Again, it could be very light stuff for a rental property, especially here. It could definitely be a rental property just because of the area. Um, like I said, just because of the Sacramento River, somebody wants to get like a boat as well too. It's just one of those cities that it looks like the water is kind of like the life out of the city whatsoever. I've never been here whatsoever. There's some golf courses up the street. I'm not sure if these are privately owned or privately just for the HOA as well too, but the water is going to be the most entertainment for this area. So that'll be really good. And an investor wants to make 15, 20% if they wanted to like fix and flip it. Yeah, fix and flip this deal. My comps were 383 and 360 some 360 what? 369, 370. So 370, 383. So I'm gonna call the other one 370 as well too. So the property can only sell for 380 $380,000. So it is way overpriced. 335 as well too. It does need less repairs, but the only thing is uh the we confirmed it that the property what was our 478, so Rio Vista, the reason the price is getting driven up is because of those HOA properties up the street. So, like I was mentioning, these numbers are they're compressed from bad shape homes to like brand new homes as well too. So that's why you need to confirm, can the property sell for this much? Because the data was telling me the property can sell for 480, but we just confirmed it, and a lot of the properties are 370, 383, and these are the two neighborhood ones, and they're really in great shape as well too. Better shape than our subject property. But I'm just averaging it out. Even if I were to push it to like 380, the property can only sell for $380,000. So that's how much I will get out of it. Maybe in a month's time, maybe a month and a half, maybe 2 months, the property I can relist it again. So that's the thing about it. That's how much I will get out of this property. So 380, if I wanted to like fix and flip it, or buy it to and hold it, even to buy and hold, I still need to come way below the asking price, close to like 260, 270. So the property is just way overpriced overall on the fix and flip, even to like buy and hold. And again, is no disrespect to the agent, no disrespect to the seller on the property itself. It's just the data that I'm collecting, that's what it's telling me. And looking at these prices, I'm also looking for like bad shaped homes as well too. How much are have bad shaped homes are selling for? I found this other one for 949 square feet, sold in December for 230. And if I look at my numbers, this is an aggressive investor asking 220 and a conservative 234. There's no disrespect to it, because again, it's just based on the information that I'm just getting at all whatsoever. So if this property sold, yeah, it's did sell 5 months ago for 230, but that's within my range of like what I look for in comps, 6 months, in the last 6 months time. There's this other one for 272, 1164 square feet, sold in November. And I don't see anything else at all whatsoever. What about the other side? All these are 425. But these 420s and 400 plus homes, they're gonna be in way better shape than mine. So again, it's no disrespect to the agent and to the seller. It's just the data that I'm collecting. This is what I'm getting so far. Do you have analysis steps in the PDF that you can share with us? That's a great question. No, I don't. And the reason why is because when you're looking at properties, it's pretty much you find a subject property and you got to look for similar properties to your subject property. So there's no specific steps that I look for. It's just over time, and again, I'm just over analytical, so I look at the littlest things as well too. That's just from my experience from financial markets and all this other stuff on my history, that I just overanalyze things. But for me to overanalyze, it gives me more insight of how I would invest in my own. So whenever I analyze a property in terms of like wholesaling, what would I do if I were to be the fix and flip investor? That I want to put all the questions on me, and well, how would I do things if I had the money, if I had the $335,000? Would I just want to buy it at 335 and just call it a day? No, it has to make sense for me. If it makes sense for me, it will make sense for somebody else, because it's all down to the numbers. That's what real estate is down to the numbers. That's what the whole business is being ran of. And so there's no specific step. It's just constantly repeating it of, I found a property. let me find similar properties for this property and then see what I'm able to find and what the numbers are going to tell me. So I'm looking at the numbers specifically. The calculator is just doing its thing at all, but the biggest, and the main picture that I look for whenever I analyze deals is what would I do? If I had the money today, right now, what would I do? What would I want to get out of it? A lot of first-time home buyers, they're not thinking like that. They just want to buy their dream home. They they have a buyer's agent to negotiate with them from time to time. They help them with like the process of buying their first-time home, the first time buying the home lending. But again, as an investor, and especially when you're repeating things over and over and over again, it just becomes the steps. There's no like correct steps, left steps, right steps, improper steps. It's just asking the biggest question of it all is where would it make sense for me in terms of it. If I walk to a dealership right now to buy a car, I wouldn't be like, yeah, I'll take the car, just get it off me. No, I'll still negotiate. Everything is negotiable. Everything is negotiable in all markets. If it's big markets like real estate to retail markets as well too, when you have independent retailers as well too, like if you're trying to wholesale some fabric or anything, you can negotiate little stuff like that. So everything is negotiable. So it's just where would it make sense for you to bring an offer in? But the only thing is, at the end of the day, like I was mentioning, is you have to know where your buyers are going to be buying. And that's why my calculator that I've designed, it makes sense for me so I can understand where an aggressive investor and a conservative investor will be in this place. So I can understand where their train of thought will come in from. But at the same time, it's just constantly repeating. Like I said, I can mention numbers. I can look at a property and I know how much a property needs to resell for it to make sense like on the numbers. So when it comes to like analyzing, like I said, the first step is look at the markets. Look at what the numbers of the markets are telling you. And all you have to do is, can the property sell for that price point? That's my first time. If it's not gonna sell for that, if it's not selling for that price point, all right, cool. What information did I find? And based on that information, what will the numbers tell me to find based on that whatsoever? Um, so for this example, just to close it out with this property overall, this is where I will need to buy it at between 220,000 to like $240,000. Even if it was to like buy and hold, same thing. Um, it has to be really priced in the low 200,000s. And again, no disrespect, and it's only been listed on the market for 11 days, but sometimes playing the patience game, either the agents or the seller are going to get desperate and they're going to do a price reduction. So I noticed there was a property that there was like a price reduction. I'm not sure where they went, but price reductions are very common. Sometimes it happens every 2 weeks. It happens every week, every 2 weeks on one property, and it's really crazy because again, they didn't really look at the numbers whatsoever. It's just it's over promising from the agent side as well too. So it's just part of the game where there's no specific steps. It's just where it really makes sense. Where would it really make sense overall? I'm gonna leave it open for you guys to ask your questions. If you this is the Q&A time. So if you have any more thorough questions or anything else that you want me to clarify, you guys are able to unmute yourselves, or if you want to continue dropping the questions in the chat, by all means, you're able to do both if you have any specific questions overall.
I just want to say thanks a lot. I appreciate it. I'm good. You answered my questions so far. So I'm really good. I'm just wanting to, this is my first time getting into it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just wanting to I'm always gonna have a lot of questions. So
I,
don't mind me.
this is a time you can ask all of them that you pop up if you have anything else. Uh, so
No, I think that's it for me now.
that's it. Okay.
Yeah.
You mind me asking how confident do you feel will besides like today, how confident do you feel like if you ever analyze like any properties?
Um, so I'm gonna have to go through by myself with the, practicing it and going through Zillow. I did take some notes of what you were saying. So one of the first things you do is kind of look out see what the buyers are wanting. So that's where I would need to start my research. And I'm joining groups now, meetup groups and my
Mm-hmm.
local, real estate investment group.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then I'll start to ask people questions,
Yes.
And I do have one quick question though. Is it just flippers and buy and holds that are doing wholesales?
Um, what do you mean flippers and buy and holds that do wholesale?
So for example, do short-term or midterm buyers typically do wholesale? Do they look at, if you're presenting a number to them or a property to them, is it going to be just primarily the flippers or buy and holds?
Yeah, so short-term rentals, that's gonna be a buy and hold. Like they're renting
Oh,
it out to travel nurses, to business travelers. So it's just a short-term rental. Airbnb, it's another one as well too. So usually
okay.
anything that it's like relatable to any type of like terms
Hmm.
is gonna be a buy and hold investor
Gotcha.
because they're gonna try to make it either try to price it up higher for those travelers or they're gonna focus more on somebody to be like under a lease for a certain amount of time. So
Right.
that's going to be a buy and hold. So all buy and hold investors, there's like a different categories of all these type of like strategies under it.
Gotcha.
They're going to be classified on that. Fix and flip investors is just fix and flip, get it, bring it in, do repairs, get out the way, move on to the next project as quickly as possible.
Hmm.
Even with those is multitude. Um, how many projects can they handle in a month's time? 3, 5, 8, 10 deals every
Hmm.
single month. And so those are questions to like ask them. When you're attending these network events, sometimes they just more it's gonna be they're gonna be a little bit shy on like sharing all that information off the bat.
Hmm.
But they'll give you like a gist of it, like, oh yeah, like I do this, whatever you have, send it over to like my way. So they keep the conversation very shallow, but you want to be very aggressive with them and get on top of them to like, hey, I made sure like the following day, even so, start messaging them, like get in touch with them, so that way you can find out exactly how they do like their numbers.
Hmm.
So that way, you want to be on top of their mind. Like I'm not sure just by saying these words, what brand is on top of your mind off the bat when on your daily basis? Is it Nike? Is it Zillow? Is it this? Is it Y? Z? Whatever brand is like always on top of your mind is what caused that brand to be on top of your mind at all times. Is it
Hmm.
because they market? Is it because the marketing is that means they're constantly showing you something relatable to them.
Right.
So you want to do the same thing like all these brands out there. You want to all constantly be on top of these people or these investors so that way you can you're kind of putting yourself first place or first in line whenever they want to do a fix and flip deal. Hey,
Mhm.
sorry, what's your name?
Carla.
Carla. Oh, Carla. So,
Mhm.
yeah, Carla. So you'll be the one who will like, oh, if John is like trying to do a fix and flip deal, hey, I know Carla. She actually has a lot of good properties, even though they're on market. Because some of them don't like on market deals. Again, that's why you have to get it at a discount and give it to them at a discount for it to make sense. But
Mhm.
Carla has great on market deals for me to bring. So let me reach out to her. You should constantly want to getting on top of their mind at all times.
Yeah.
So. Don't ask too many questions because again, they're gonna be very shy to like ask. They'll give you like gist of it, just to keep the conversation going. But as soon as you network or you find somebody who's like, oh, I really like how this person does this or how much information they're able to share. Let me get in touch with them. Let me take them out of lunch. Let me do a Zoom. Let me just find out more details so that way I can start building up your list. Uh,
Hmm.
and that's where the wholesaling, the CRM helps you out. Start adding on your people, put in your notes on the right side of the CRM so that way you can keep a track of everybody there whatsoever.
Hmm. Okay. Okay.
And what else was going to mention? Yeah, that's pretty much it in terms of that.
Okay. Well, that's awesome. Yeah, I'm from North Carolina. I'm in Washington State now, but I was a real estate broker in North Carolina, so I was around investors, and so I'm familiar with the turf and the lingo and
Mhm,
everything that's going on with investing. But
mhm.
I have to refresh everything, and I'm in a new market now, so yeah, I'm
Yeah, that's fine. So the best, that's the base, the most struggling part is like, how do I research like a market? But all the information is already out there. And so I
yeah.
showed you like the major step of it, how to like skip all that, researching and what makes it a deal here, what makes it all that is the
Mm,
information's out there from Zillow. Especially Zillow has the most data available because they're a broker company.
mhm,
That's why they have like their own real estate agents. Same thing with Redfin. They're a broker company that have their own real estate agents. That's
mm,
why you can list properties with Redfin agents or Zillow agents. But they have all that data available from them. So I use that as fast as possible so I can collect all that data. And the thing with this data is constantly changing every month. So make sure you're constantly updating it because you got to notice it. Are prices going up on properties or prices going down on properties? Right now,
mhm,
prices are going up on properties little by little. I've noticed it on my markets that even like $10,000 of a difference. That's what it
mhm,
is. That's what the numbers are telling me.
mhm,
So just by researching that, all you have to do is confirm, can the property sell for this much? I'm looking at this property. Yeah, even if it's like a property like in your area that it's not listed, it's like an off-market property, maybe because you walked around like the neighborhood or you
mhm,
did like driving for dollars. So you're driving around neighborhoods and you come across properties and you start writing it down. Then you notice and like, okay, this property needs this much, but are starting getting like a hands of like, I know how much this property can I can definitely go for just
mhm,
because some of the things that I'm noticing off the bat. And so
mhm,
it's just constantly repeating that. But again, be attentive of how the numbers are changing and
mhm,
what the potentials will be for that specific property overall. And little
mhm.
by little, you're gonna start getting more sense, and bam, it's just gonna become second nature.
Second
Where
nature.
as soon as you get like a property from like an agent, because again, if you want to work with agents or if you want to just if you do more like on your own, driving for dollars, you have to like either spend money, um, or you have to like reach out to like buyers, I mean sellers overall.
Mhm,
So either you're gonna spend time or you're gonna spend money, whichever is more convenient for you. That's the
right.
thing. That's so that way you can get more leads on your side to get all these properties. But
Mhm,
I've noticed that working with agents is best because they're already doing all the work, they're already doing all the marketing, they're already doing all the calling. It's just they're gonna put a price tag higher than what the property's worth because they're
mhm,
trying to get their commission. So
right.
again, it's no disrespect to them, because some agents out there are commission based and they're very aggressive on the commissions that sometimes they don't even bring their offers to the sellers, even though they're legally obligated to bring all
Yeah.
offers to them. But it's just how some of them are. And again, when I'm presenting an offer, it's no disrespect. It's just this is the information that I'm finding, and especially when you know your market as much as them, then you know that the price is really overpriced overall as well
Mhm,
too. So it will
mhm.
take repetition, but
Yeah.
hopefully the inside of that information on how to analyze like the market, that should be give you all the necessary steps because all you have to do after you find all that information on the data of how much properties are going for, all you're pretty much is doing is confirming.
Mhm,
Can the property sell for this much? Can the property sell for this much? Would
mhm.
I buy it for that much? No, I wouldn't. Would I buy it for that much? No. If I need to spend $60,000, is this property price? Yes, it is. So I wouldn't even buy it for that much. So
Right.
it's just constantly asking yourself, where does it make sense for if I were the one to invest in this property today
Right.
and then flip it in 2 to 3 months from now? Based on the repairs that it needs
Yeah.
overall. So
Would
that's what
you,
you're
are
doing.
you able to, are you able to sell your, I'm sorry, to share your presentation with me? The one that you had on, you showed had up?
Oh yeah, the PowerPoint, yeah, it's available on the real estate education. I put the link on the chat. I'm not sure if you're able to still see it
Oh, no,
out.
I didn't see that one. Oh, okay. I thought I saw it. I thought you just sent the, which I'm
Uh,
going to look
yeah,
at
it's
too.
on the same website. It's on the same website. If you
Oh,
head
okay.
to the real estate education side, I have all the files, all the previous live Zooms there.
Oh,
There's some
okay.
books there. So everything's on my website at eltonvargas.com.
Okay.
You're gonna be able to see everything from there on
Okay.
the real estate education side, so that we have access to everything from there. From the contracts, if you want to use any of those contracts as well too, for purchasing the property to assigning the property to like an investor, if you need to terminate the contract for whatever reason and all that. So everything is on the real estate education
Oh,
side as
nice.
well too. And the CRM, if you want to get the CRM, you can get the CRM there as well too.
Okay. Okay. Awesome. Thank you
Yeah,
so much, Elton. I really do appreciate it, for
my
sure.
pleasure, my pleasure. If you happen to have like any of the questions on this event or the next one happening on Tuesday at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, by all means you can drop it, or you can always message me on meetup.com, and I'll respond to any questions that you have from there as well
Oh,
too.
okay. All right, awesome. Thanks again.
My pleasure. I'm not sure if anybody has any more questions. Oh, there's
I think they're gone. He's gone.
Christian left. All right. No, well, that's pretty much it for today.
Yeah.
Thank you. I really appreciate you joining for today. You have a blessed rest of your weekend, and I'll see you hopefully maybe on the next episode or maybe in the future as well too.
Yes. Thanks
Okay.
again. Have a good one too.
You as well. Take care.
All
Bye.
right. Bye.